So I find this to be a most curious development. I'll just read the headline. YouTube reverses misinformation policy to allow U.S. election denialism. So tens of thousands of videos removed later. God knows how many creators' YouTube channels nuked, livelihoods destroyed by YouTube after the 2020 election because people expressed their opinions about the election and their distrust of the process. And now YouTube is reversing their policy. You used to not be able to say that there was anything funny about the election at all. Just that one. Just the 2021. 2016 was fine. You go to town. For some reason it wasn't a problem until 2020. And I've got an idea. I've got a very good idea of why this is happening. I'll tell you in just a little bit, but first let's get into this. In a reversal of its election integrity policy, YouTube will leave up content that says fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in the 2020 presidential election and other U.S. elections, the company confirmed to Axios on Friday. Well, it was fine to say it about every other election, by the way, until 2020, right? But I think it's important here where they say, and other U.S. elections, like perhaps elections in the future. Yeah, we're going to get to my opinion on this in just a second. Let's go a little further. Let's see. The company said in a statement that leaving the policy in place may have the effect of, quote, curtailing political speech without meaningfully reducing the risk of violence or other real-world harm, as if that was ever their actual concern. Yeah, and you'll just have to forgive me if I'm a little bit cynical about their motives. It says, 2 years, tens of thousands of video removals, and one election cycle later, we recognized it was time to reevaluate the effects of this policy in today's changed landscape, YouTube said in a statement. What is the changed landscape? The changed landscape is that there's another election coming up, and they want to see who wins. How much do you want to bet that whoever the Democrats end up running in 2024, that if they win, this policy will be slammed back into place quicker than Joe Biden can fall up a flight of stairs? If not, if the unthinkable happens for them, I got a feeling it's a lot like 2016 again, isn't it? Because then they'll definitely be concerned about curtailing political speech. And they certainly won't be concerned about violence or other real-world harm because they weren't concerned about it after Trump won. Again, it was anything goes. We all remember. With that in mind, and with 2024 campaigns well underway, we will stop removing content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in the 2020 or other past U.S. presidential elections. And again, to my knowledge, this only applied in the United States, at least, to the 2020 election. Let's see, YouTube said it had carefully deliberated this change, but didn't provide further examples of what factors or instances it considered when weighing its decision. Again, we all know what it is. They're going to wait and see what happens in 2024. This just seems obvious to me. Let's see, the platform said it will provide more details about its approach to the 2024 election in the months to come. Yep, they're going to see how things go. And by the way, I got a strike, actually, just for quoting Trump on the 2020 election. Just for quoting him. That's it. They said that I didn't provide countervailing evidence, which feels a lot like being coerced into saying things that you don't actually believe. Again, I'm not buying their whole being worried about curtailing political speech thing. Now, apparently this policy goes into effect immediately, but I have to issue a word of caution here. YouTube acts totally arbitrarily. I've been on this platform for a few years, and I can attest to that. It's totally arbitrary. It's just the whims of the AI, or if there is a person on the other end of it, you better hope that they're having a good day. Anyway, let's look at precisely what they say here on their elections misinformation policies page. And here are the things that you're not allowed to post under election integrity. It says, content advancing false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in certain past elections to determine the heads of government, or content that claims that the certified results of those elections were false. This policy currently applies to the 2021 German federal election, the 2014, 2018, and 2022 Brazilian presidential elections. Keep in mind, this isn't a complete list. Oh, well, thanks then. So you've given us 2 examples here, and then there's just a bunch more and nobody knows what they are. Because they don't tell you in this. This is completely typical of big tech. Their rules are so open-ended that they're almost meaningless. Here it says that we may allow content that violates the election integrity policy noted on this page if the content includes additional context in the video, audio, title, or description. This is not a pass to promote misinformation. Additional context may include countervailing views, or if the purpose of the content is to condemn, dispute, or satirize misinformation that violates our policies. What does that mean? It sounds to me like you're still not allowed to disagree with them, and they're still holding themselves up as the arbiter of all truth and justice. I want to come back to this before we end it. The platform said it will provide more details about its approach to the 2024 election in the months to come. Sounds like it's an evolving process to me, and I think that their approach is going to change depending on what happens in the 2024 election, or what looks like it's going to happen in the election. Because if the wrong guy gets in, then the old policy isn't politically expedient for them anymore, is it? So they might need a change up to the 2016 model. And this way they can say, well, we changed the policy way back in summer of 2023. And if the guy they want to get in, because YouTube is political and they do have a favorite, if that guy gets in, well, they just revert back to 2020 again. And I think it's obvious, and I think I will be proven right on this. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.